mobile apps development, present and beyond. So we will be discussing about the scenario in which the mobile apps in present as well as in the future. The agenda of presentation is we will start with why mobile and why mobile application and why we need mobile application development and what are the options we do have. If you look at mobile as a device, this is a successful device in the last 2 decades, and it creates communication across the globe. It is making the world much smaller. In a sense, we can. The live session is the best example. People can join the session from their mobile device. They can interact any part of the world. And if you look at technology as a device with the integration, if you look back from the olden era of the calculator, this FM radio, and then this AM radio, and then music player, and then camera, video player. It's all integrated in one device now. Earlier, we do have a separate devices. Now, as an integration, we do have everything at one place. Now we do have torch light. You can shake and you can show the torch, and so on. We can count n number of things, and things are in our hand. And why we need mobile? Okay, you can see the picture right now on the right. You will have plenty of things. Now, mobility is important part of our survival. We need to travel. We need to move one place to another place. Of course, COVID breaks everything. Now, moving from one place to another place, it is inevitable thing. We cannot do anything. We may do, all sort of works are not possible to change. So during my traveling or while going somewhere, I can do some of the other tasks. So that comes this mobile devices. And in a nutshell, how do we define a mobile device? It has the ability of a computer, and we can move around. And people have a great desire for a mobile phone, and people behave sometimes, as if they born with this device. Okay, and not only that, their idea to share the other things from the household are people ready to share in anything except mobile phone. Two people will stay together, and then they do almost share everything, and they do have a pattern lock or a pin lock, all other stuffs to protect their devices. People feel that it's very personal to me. And if you look at the laptop or the computer segment, it is only for the professionals who do software or who do a specific task. But if you look at the mobile devices, it is used for a different context or different categories of people, maybe drivers or even agriculture or market vendors, businessmen, doctors, professionals. Everybody need mobile devices, and they use for a different context. And the ambidextrous, it's a word which has the ability to do two things. I can drive and I can talk, and I can listen to the lectures. I can use mobile phone. The task of doing two things that also broken up here. And this is the only way where we can understand our customer or customer segment. You can reach the common services. These are the primary characteristics of a mobile device. And other specific, very popular characteristics when it comes to the mobile device. It is intensively personal, and it is real time, so that we can interact at any point of the time, and we do get immediate responses. And we have the facility that whether students are a particular group of people were able to read our messages, whether they can acknowledge, all these things are possible through this device. And if you talk about the statistics, almost 89% of the world populations are mobile subscribers, and we do close to 70. This number is from 2019, the second half of that. And the statistics may be improved during this COVID time. Almost 70+% of the people are using smartphones. And in some of the countries, people do not have bank accounts, but they do have mobile phones. And in Indian context, we do not have sufficient number of toilets at home, but we do have a number of phones. That is also, controversial debates. And 97, we can say it is 99 in the COVID era. Almost 100% of the students enrolled in colleges and universities want smartphone. And this is the fastest growing segment. And the internet consumption, our rate of internet, if you look at the statistics in India, it is awesome. We are the global player and who consume internet more with a less price. And there is a company called Oracle. They are pioneer in customer relationship management. They do say that engaging customers through mobile device becomes our high priority, which means that handling the customer relationship through mobile device almost we lost. And how this ecosystem, who are all taking part of this? We do directly connected with operators who does provide services to us in terms of Airtel or Jio or any player. The common interaction between our mobile device and then the recharging options, and they do have this networks which works in the basis of operators, and there is one more one which is aggregator which works on behalf of a network and operator to provide value added services. And we do have devices comes in the middle, and from the devices we do have platforms, as like the computers we do have operating systems, and on top of that we do have application frameworks which facilitates the development of applications which is running on the device, and we do have applications and services on top of it. It's not a simple thing which involves a lot of players in this. It's a layered architecture kind of stuff we do have in the mobile space as well. And if you look at this, the word as app, earlier we do call before this, in the 2000 era, it is mobile application. Nobody uses this word called app. There is an interesting body in America. Every year they do collect the buzzword, which is not in the dictionary. So in that sense, in 2010, this particular word is listed as, app of, word of the year, which is app. Okay. So how do you define an app? A mobile app is a software application which is designed to run on a mobile phones. Okay. Not only that, it has tablets and other sort of portable devices through a common distribution platforms, which means there is some place where we can buy or we can download, we can use it. That is how the history comes. Okay. The app, which is very new in this decade. Okay. When it started in 2010. And now almost it is a mantra of any mobile phone. Okay, nobody call it as a mobile application. It is mobile apps. So we talk about mobile application. Now this the development comes how it's a process which applications are developed for handheld devices. Here it is not only for mobile phones. It can be personal PDAs or tablets, or enterprise digital assistants. The added one we call Kindle, which facilitates reading as like a book we can read through that. So we do have application for a different handheld device. It is not only for mobile device. Now we have included in this IoT. We do have TVs. Almost all these are application based on which we are using. And there is an already a proven one, which is an web app, and the other one is mobile app. Okay, so the web app is what? Okay, typically which loads in a browser, and the app is in the mobile app which runs on the top of this operating system. Here, this web app which takes the information through standard HTML, it can be combined with other scripting or CSS, and the information which is stored in the server, and we do access. And the updation of a particular information in the website, it is quite possible, and you can just refresh or streaming would help enough. And here the app in the mobile, which comes with a standard UI code, and it has to be with either Android or any other mobile operating system. And the app which cannot be updated just like a web app. We have to give information as we are receiving every day. There are 23 apps needs to be updated. Okay, we cannot force a user. We need to give an option to the user that there is an update, you can download, you can use it. And the last part of this difference between these two, here on the left, app is sandboxed from the OS. The sandbox it's a security thing. What it does is, you have a legitimate access to my computer. You can access the meaningful resources only from the browser perspective. You cannot access anything else. Whereas here, the mobile app, which can access the natural resources of the mobile phone, which may be camera or gallery, or it can be anything. Now it becomes the controversy topic also. Almost all the apps are demanding everything to be shared. So this is the fundamental difference between how a web application is different from the mobile application. And what are the key things involved in this? So we do have different technologies for developing mobile application. And the common issue is not all of them run on all phones. And because if you take the laptop segment, the fragments are less. Most of the laptops are in most of the laptops are in a fixed size, and they do be categorized into 2-3 operating system in a major cars. But if you look at the mobile device, we do have multiple screen sizes, we do have multiple players. The fragment is, it's keep on increasing. And there may be one player, there may be 3 player. Now, if you look at the mobile space, as the OEM perspective, there are 10 players who are competing. We want to sell the devices. Big classification is smartphones versus feature phones, high-end versus low-end. There are a lot of category which is evolving now. The device is already, categorized into different based on the operating system, operating the hardware size. There are a lot of things we can talk about this in terms of the fragments. So how do you develop, this mobile application? What exactly it is? Basically, it is a skilled job. It is a core job. Okay, it's a programmer thing, and the application should be very smart because the competition is so high. By looking at the application, it should be lightweight. I should be installed it, in fraction of seconds, and it should fit enough to my screen, and I should naturally, attracted towards the app. And there is a research saying that by seeing the icon of the app, user decides between 12 to 18 seconds, the user tend to decides whether we need to install or not. Okay. In web app, they do just visit, they take a decision, they close it. Here, they will feel the app and then they'll install and then they'll go ahead. So it's a core job. I can have any application, but I should have some native applications. Like I'm frequently using this Facebook or Twitter. I need to share at one touch, or I need to share through WhatsApp. So I should have a connectivity to the other apps. That is also a trend or the mandate from the customer now. Now, what are the other dependencies when it comes to this mobile application? Now, the sales or the penetration of devices is like in a big scale. So there is a big to capture the bigger market share. So whether I am here or Apple devices are popular or Google devices are popular, it's a branding business now. Okay. Now, everyone wanted to be an independent player. There is no the common alignment. Okay, so I need to stick on to this my own group of people. I have my own Play Store. Even if you look at this new model of Jio, they have their own app store, their own way of selling applications. The best service has to provide different applications to different Play Store. And the evolving new business model, now the operators are thinking, like an operator, for example, Jio is thinking that I should give internet access to a lot of customers. The customers do access through me, through other banking channels or other business channels. Why should I behave like a bank, or why should I behave like a store where I can offer all the services? And what is the revenue sharing model? How do I give it to the actual business owner, and how much I take? So these are the new trends where business comes in. So all this because of mobile devices. And the backstory of that is this sort of alignment which creates a bad scenario, okay, for the application developer, because as a developer, as a programmer, he or she need to think in a different directions. And one set of approach may work for a particular set of devices, may not work in the common segment. Okay, so there is no assurance that same application will run on multiple OS, and writing the same application and again is literally boring task, and it is practically impossible to ensure that all our apps are run on all possible phones. So we need a huge chunk of the task which we need to run on this. So these are the common dependencies when it comes to this mobile applications. Yeah, this is the actual, the developer environment programming space, which call it as, 6-packs programming. The 6-pack is the Android, BlackBerry, iPhone, Palm, Symbian, Windows. Okay, this is old 6-pack in a sense that now things are changing. If you look at the BlackBerry, which is in the middle between, Android and iPhone, which is moving away from this space. If you look at the Symbian, which they are nowhere in the, business space. But the core of the programming, if you look at this development language, which starts with Java, Objective-C, Objective-C++, and then C++, and then Visual C++. So ideally, the mobile application space, which prefers this object-oriented programming, which means that I should naturally involve in this classes, objects, or inheritance, or polymorphism. I should, this object-oriented programming, the fundamental theme is it should promote the reusability. Okay, I should write one code which I have to use in multiple places. I don't need to write, different places. And then this IDE is also, according to the trend, it will change. Earlier, if you look at this Android, they do run with NetBeans. After that, it is Eclipse. Now they do have their own, software development kit called Android Studio. So this is how the pack of programming stuff which is available in the market. And now I don't want to have the natural feeling of writing coding and then checking it once and uploading or deploying it. Is it possible I can without coding stuff I can click and drag and I should be able to develop app? Is there any possibility? Yes, like me and you, there are other set of people who thought that without programming stuff it is possible to develop, and it is possible to educate the user. It is possible to educate the students. So in that intention, the initiative started from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They have come up with a great idea. They are the pioneer in introducing the Scratch programming language for the school kids. So based on that idea, they built an app inventor. So you don't need to coding stuff. You just click and drag and you can build the app. So there is another option. We do have Genymotion and Thunkable and Builder AI. You can give your own ideas. This will generate in the background as like click and drag features. And we have Apps Geyser. And not only that, we do have a lot of development stuff which is there. At one point, you have idea and you can build your own app. And when we are telling about this development, the testing is an integration role. It performs whatever you have defined and how it works, how it goes to the customer. Do we have such avenues in this mobile application space? Yes, we do have. Right from functional testing to automation testing, we do have performance, we do have memory. Interruption, memory, and all. If you look at that, the devices which we do have, mobile devices, which has the capacity of like 1990s NASA's computer. That means that it has a giant processing power, which does multiple applications and which runs in the background and which is forcibly called and which is handling of multiple devices and different sort of connectivity. So all these things are possible here. We do have installation testing and usability testing, and we have much more. As a interested person, what are the opportunities? What are the job trends which are available at a most affordable way or most accessible way? The bigger role is mobile application developer. Automation test, which is testing maybe a fading industry in a general perspective. But day by day, we do have million apps in the Play Store. Okay, who tests the app? Okay, there are some rule engines. There are some AI programs. There are some ML programs which understand the behavior of an app. And now the consumption time, like an app is given to the Play Store and they need to check it for within this 24 or 48 hour span. Who checks that and who tests that? So there is a big role of testing in the background. And this mobile information architect, costly job now. Okay, app is app. Everybody wanted, exactly like now Angry Bird, exactly like a Paytm, exactly like a Hotstar. We do wanted, give it to the user, and we should not educate much. They should find out which option is there, where I can click to share, where I can see the options, which button I need to place where. If you look at the big companies like even Byju's, if you look at the mobile information architect, maybe 2-3 people, they decide which option should be on top, which should be on top, bottom, and left and right. Everything the architect as like an engineer, difference between the engineer and the architect. Mobile is it's a big business now, and people need everything on as an app. Okay, if one feature is available in the other app, now it needed. Okay, it needed in this app. So these are the possible avenues. There are umpteen roles are here, and then how the evaluation happens. Okay, suppose if I want to download an app which is given by Google, my natural choice is okay. The creator is superior, so I can download, I can install, I can see it whether it works or not, and then I can see whether this particular content which is relevant to me. Okay, and do my friends do use that? Is there any feedback mechanisms? Okay, whether any star ratings are there? Okay, and then the context, whether it is easy, whether do we need to see any images before installing. So do I need to use internet constantly? So all these things are evaluating an app based on the context. And the comment we do read, the comment is also a big business now. Whether it is a big controversy is who made the comment. Everything it looks genuine, and there are some bots which is creating comment, and there are some companies which generates comments on behalf of 1,000 customers. The product which is released yesterday, which has 10,000 comments, maybe the purchase made for maybe 100. So this is also a big industry when it comes to this mobile app development space. And why there is a hype on Android? Okay, generally mobile means 10 years before, a decade before, people do think about Nokia. Now people do think about only Android. Okay, they forget about the manufacturer. They do talk about mobile means Android. Okay, and the other segment is also there. And if you look at this, statistics on the right, 3.5 billion people use a smartphone, and out of which 87% of the users are using this Android smartphones. Okay, and it is not only for mobile phones. We do have smartwatches, we do have TVs, cars, driverless cars, and umpteen Android apps, and we do have all sort of user interfaces, be it a Kindle or be it any sort of devices. There is a possibility. The primary is the first one, the mobile operating system based on Linux kernel. It comes as a open source, and another one, people do define as it's a Google's product. And why it is so popular? The reason is that it has a beautiful gestures. We can swipe, we can tap, we can pinch, we can shake. All sort of inputs are accepted now. Okay, and it does have a rich set of characters, numbers, emojis, and you name it, whatever it can be integrated into Android. And it has a great support for peripherals, USB controllers, or Bluetooth. At any point you can integrate. Okay, if you have this Android phone, and not only that, it is customizable or scalable for new vendors, and they can develop by their own. And the same is, we have watch, we have phone, we have a tablet, we have application, and customizations are it is increasing day by day, and more than 1 billion devices across the globe. And we do have different updates and different patch files. We do have different live streaming. All these things are quite naturally people are comfortable with Android. Okay, now we do have mobile application development. Who are the what are the ecosystem? What are the players? Now the framework is which facilitates the development. Okay, how many frameworks we do have? We have any limited frameworks we do have? No, we do have umpteen framework, and all these things are helping us to develop mobile app. For developing this, we need to have a mindset. Our application is for whom and what serves, and under which category it comes up. And do we demonstrate any live streaming or live stuff, or we do give the patch up things, or we do display only standard information? All these things, it's a choice of the developer, and based on this we can reach out any information. So this is a core idea, and which I should take, for whom I need to take, and for what I need to do, and whether it is live or patch up, or I need to display as a standard information. All these things I need to decide before development. And though this application or the app, which we talk as the primary, the master is actually the operating system. The operating system, how we can define is, in a standard definition, it shows that it's the interface between the computer and hardware. In a mobile sense, it's like a system of systems, which does memory management, file management, input-output management, even security, different system of systems. And it is the one which shares the revenue between this app space and the other providers. And the Android, with the big hype is this open source. Okay, through open source I can facilitate this, and tools which are day by day integration is happening. Even the GitHub or Flutter or whatever we say, this integrated development environment coming into the picture. It started with Java Micro Edition. We call it as J2ME. And then slowly it moved into NetBeans, and then it is ported to Eclipse, And now it is through JetBrains, we do have Android Studio exclusively. And through JetBrains of this Android Studio, it is possible to run the applications. So that is how the integration of this in the job space, be it a programmer or be it a developer, the buzzwords are big data, cloud computing, machine learning, artificial intelligence, or blockchain. You name it, anything. But you need to give it to the user or the common man or the business professional in their hand. Okay, you talk about any technology, least level is you should give it to the user by their mobile phone or through as an app. Okay, so any algorithm we should serve the user through their mobile device. It can be entertainment, or it can be education, or it can be gaming. Now, if you look at any global player, if they don't have any app, if they don't have any mobile-based information system, almost they are outdated. Okay, unless otherwise, they do serve for the other people who are delivering the service on the mobile. Okay, be it a banking or shopping, you name it, whatever it is. You see the last point, telemedicine. There is one company, they are pioneer in this now because of this COVID, that Practo. Not only that, there are a number of apps which evolved during this COVID era, the telemedicine. And the companies which leverages this, the API which is download mostly during this COVID era is, camera API, or this integration of different logins or location sharing. So this is the job market in the era which we are living. You talk about any technologies, but ultimately the app which plays everything. And we do have different things to sell. One feature is enough to sell. If the camera is rich, it is fine. If the music alone is rich, there is a possibility. If the batteries are display, you talk about any one feature which is ready to sell, or which is ready to integrate with any application. People, some of juniors or friend of mine, they are good at gaming. They do check the processing power. For this purpose, I will buying this device. So the customers are the space which is clearly known to the user. So according to that, they will invest and they will go for it. And if you look at as an app, one particular app which changed the entire ecosystem. You can take about Ola or Uber or Maps or Angry Bird. Angry Bird is the one thing which we can talk about, for a 30 minutes. This is the only app which breaks through the cold war between these play stores. Usually, say for example, Apple has one app, and Android, the Play Store has one app. Okay, there is a prestige. Okay, if these people I have superior of that, or I will have a lower of that, I'll not have the same app. And the Angry Bird, which is it was introduced in the Android space, which was so popular, and the same was demanded by the iOS user that we also wanted to play Angry Bird, so integrate that. Then only these people, officially this Angry Bird made into this iOS. So it's a breaking through this Cold War and the business ecosystem. And we do have WhatsApp, and we do have Signal now. By the time there may be another app which may be started rolling. So almost we are coming to an end, and we do have, the biggest challenge is that do I need to develop an app? Do I need to have a coding skills? Of course, it is needed. And I'm good at UI UX. I can develop rich screens. Can I try in this space? I'm new to this, but I'm very much interested. I'm not mastered in programming. Can I try? Okay, these are the common questions we do have. But if you have a passion in yourself, you can try all these things. Okay, you can take up this as a one challenge, and you can go ahead. Within 30 or 40 days, you can rose up and you can start seeking job as a mobile application developer if you invest your time here. So with this, I wish the audience to take up, this mobile app space. There are other leading avenues are what we do have the new idea of material design. Though idea exists already, we do have new branding or new naming. We do have material design. We do have version control systems or version configuration managements or version. The best example is I develop a code. I can update now, and I can see the code which is modified, which is yesterday I done or day before yesterday. So I need to say the different versions of my code. and I should have a the database which should be on the go. It should be on the cloud, and I need to use it. And I need to build a rich user stuff by seeing the app. People should download, and then they should be very much comfortable. And we can go for Flutter and rich UI stuff. So these are some possible avenues for the developing mobile app in the in the present and beyond. And the common challenges, as we have been telling, that we do have a different fragments, size and resolutions, and different performance also coming into the picture. And where does the user data saved, and privacy? It's a big concern now. And people are taking our data and they performing analysis, and which is supporting for governance. Even sometimes it helps for the election when it's a big controversy now. Who owns the data? And the ownership, where it lies. Sometimes it touches the patriotism as well. It's not stored here, it is stored in somewhere. Literally we cannot fix any region for this our data. It's a new business now. And compatibility is also another big challenge in the mobile space. So these are the common challenges. And now it's time for questions. Throughout this session, we have been touching mobile app development, and different scenarios and different players, different ecosystem. All these things we have been discussing. And the future is maybe like work from anywhere. It is not only home, and we can work from anywhere. And the only service through customers through mobile device. And only payment channel it will become, and we will have a primary authentication as a mobile device. I thank you for your patience.